Part 120. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1191. Chapter 1191. I suddenly regretted it. As a woman, she was very moved by the sight of her. Chiao Mian was a little embarrassed by the compliment, and said to the clerk with slightly red cheeks, "Thank you." The evening dress is a style that exposes some shoulders, exposing her slender neck and collarbones. The fishtail style elongates her original good figure to a more perfect proportion. Chiao Mian is 165 centimeters tall. But wearing this evening dress, there is a 170 sense of instantness. She looked at herself in the mirror, and for the first time she felt that straight men's aesthetics were also very reliable. Moyesi's clothes are really nothing to say. She particularly liked the skirt he customized for her. Chiao Mian stood in front of the mirror and was intoxicated with herself for a while, and then she was reminded by the clerk that Moyesi was still waiting for her. Lounge. Moyesi was reading an electronic document sent to him by Wei Zheng. "Mr. Mo, Miss Chiao has already changed into her evening dress." He heard footsteps approaching, and then the clerk's voice rang out. Moyesi held his mobile phone in one hand and raised his head with a calm expression. The moment his eyes fell on Chiao Mian, a hint of surprise flashed across the man's indifferent eyes, and he stared at her intently. The look on his face was no longer as indifferent as before. The dark eyes calmly looked at the elf-like girl in front of him from beginning to end, and his deep eyes finally fell on her delicate porcelain white face. At this moment, Moyesi suddenly regretted it. "I regret why I ordered such a dress for her. Her beauty should only be seen by him." He had no idea that other people would discover such a beautiful side of her. At this moment, the girl in front of me is so beautiful and dazzling. At that moment, even he was moved by her and was shocked by her. Not to mention other men. "How is it?" Chiao Mian lifted the hem of her skirt and felt a little uncomfortable being stared at by him. "I think the size is suitable and the style is good. What do you think?" This long skirt on her body is not too revealing and gives people a frivolous feeling. But it is not so conservative that it makes people feel rigid. The purity of the girl and the charm of the woman are both well displayed. Moyesi's eyes were shining with surprise, and he continued to feel annoyed. He wanted to say that this skirt was not good, that it did not look good on her, and that he should choose another one for her. However, such words were too contrary to his will and he couldn't say them. The clerk said from the side, "Mr. Mo, the skirt you customized for Miss Chiao is really suitable for her. Miss Chiao looks so beautiful in this skirt, she looks as good as a fairy. She is indeed as beautiful as a fairy. It's just that he couldn't bear to let others see her because she was so beautiful." Yeah, it's not bad he couldn't say anything too contrary to his will, but Moyesi didn't want to tell Chiao Mian that she was actually very beautiful in this skirt. With a little bit of love in his heart, the man pretended to give advice seriously, "But I think there may be something more suitable for you. Do you want to look at other styles?" When he said this, several shop assistants were stunned. Looked at him a little surprised. Isn't this good enough? They all feel super beautiful. And this is a custom-made skirt, not one you can choose from in a shopping mall. If he felt it was inappropriate, wouldn't it be a waste of millions of skirts? End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1192. Chapter 1192. The jealousy is overturned again. Chiao Mian was also stunned for a moment. "Isn't this skirt custom made? It should not be returned or exchanged." Yeah, Moyesi wanted to try to persuade him, "If you like this, you can take it home, and we'll go to the mall to look at other styles." Chiao Mian thought about how much trouble it would be. And she liked this skirt very much, and she didn't want to choose anything else at all. "But, I like this one. There was a bit of coquettishness in her voice. I think this dress is very good. Oh yesy, it's just a birthday dinner, so don't make it so complicated. This is the dress for tomorrow night's evening party. I'm going there soon. I'm choosing a gift for brother Bai. Oh yesy. He now knows what it means to shoot oneself in the foot. His original intention was to make his baby appear at Bai Yisheng's birthday dinner in all his glory. Most of the people invited by the Bai family are prominent people in Yunqing. At that time, many famous ladies will also go. A man depends on his clothes, just as he depends on his gold. He does not want his treasure to be underestimated by others. However, now that she was so beautiful, he began to worry that too many members of the opposite would notice her at the banquet. Especially the uneasy and kind-hearted Bai Yisheng. Asterisk. In the end, Mo Yesi could only accept Jiao Mian and did not choose another evening dress. Leaving the private club, he went to a nearby shopping mall to choose a gift for Bai Yisheng. Jiao Mian shopped for almost an hour, and finally chose a watch for Bai Yisheng. Because of this watch, a certain jealous person was unhappy again. When it came time to pay the bill, Mo Yesi wanted to pay for her, but Jiao Mian insisted on paying the bill with the money in her own card. She felt that she wanted to buy this gift for Bai Yisheng alone. On the way back, Mo Yesi was silent all the way because of his taste. He felt that Jiao Mian had never put so much thought into choosing a gift for him. When choosing a gift for Bai Yisheng, she not only shopped around, but also let him try on each watch. The watch she finally chose was indeed very beautiful and in line with Bai Yisheng's temperament. However, that watch was not chosen for him. Mo Yesi became angry when he thought of this. Even though he knew that his wife only had gratitude and admiration for Bai Yisheng. But seeing his wife paying so much attention to another man, he was still disgusted. He usually talks very little and is relatively silent most of the time. So Jiao Mian didn't notice that the man next to her was jealous again. After arriving home, as soon as Jiao Mian got out of the car, she received a call from Bai Yisheng. Well, don't worry, brother Bai, I will definitely arrive on time tomorrow night. Mo Yesi followed her into the hall. The man's face had always been calm, but when he heard Jiao Mian call brother Bai, he frowned. After Jiao Mian hung up the phone, he immediately asked, "Who called you?" "Bai Yisheng." "Yeah." Jiao Mian nodded. "Why is he calling you?" "Brother Bai asked me not to forget the birthday party tomorrow night. He called me to remind me." Mo Yesi couldn't help but snorted. He was so worried that you wouldn't go tomorrow night that he even called to remind you. He was still upset about the watch, but now that he knew it was Bai Yisheng who called him, he felt even more unhappy. The tone also became a bit sinister. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1193. Chapter 1193. Imprison her 24 hours a day. Jiao Mian. She suddenly realized it in hindsight. Mo Yesi, aren't you jealous again? Didn't I tell you that brother Bai and I have nothing to do? Besides, he knows that we are together, and he treats me. How could you possibly have any other ideas? You don't trust your friends that much. That's hard to say. At the beginning, he was not so sensitive. But when he thought of Gong Zili, his face became a little unhappy. Jiao Mian. Then what do you want me to do so that you can feel completely at ease? Do you want me to be by your side 24 hours a day, just with you? Jiao Mian asked in a helpless tone. Unexpectedly, Mo Yesi nodded and said, I have thought so. Confinement her, 24 hours a day. Let him see her all the time. And no one can touch her except him. He knew his thoughts were perverted. So he never dared to tell her his true thoughts for fear of scaring her. Chiao Mian Mian. He actually admitted it. Asterisk. The next day, Chiao Mian Mian slept until the afternoon before getting up. Even after sleeping for more than 10 hours, she still felt that she had not recovered. She vowed that she would never bet casually again. Especially bet with that beast in clothes like Mo Yesi. After Chiao Mian Mian got up and washed up, she checked that it was already getting late. She was about to call Mo Yesi to ask him when he would go to Bai's house, when Mo Yesi called. Chiao Mian Mian answered the phone and spoke, her voice a little hoarse, "Are you off work? Well, you get ready, I'll go home to pick you up in a while." As soon as Mo Yesi finished speaking, he seemed to have remembered something, and immediately added, "Don't make it too grand. It's a birthday of an acquaintance, just keep it casual." Casual, Chiao Mian Mian blinked in confusion, not knowing what kind of casualness he wanted. "Well, be casual, we are inviting acquaintances this time, and everyone is very casual, so you don't need to put on elaborate makeup or do your hair or anything like that, just dress up casually." Chiao Mian Mian understood, "I understand, I can do it in half an hour. I'll hang up now and see you later." Hang up the phone, Chiao Mian Mian called a maid to the dressing room and helped her change into the skirt Mo Yesi bought her yesterday. When the maid helped her change into the evening dress, she saw the label on the dress and couldn't help but secretly clicked her tongue. The young master is really willing to give up to the young madam. The evening dresses from this private custom brand are extremely expensive. 7 figures for a skirt. Although the young master is rich, such a small amount of money is nothing to him. But not every rich man is willing to spend such money on his significant other. However, if she looks as beautiful as the young lady, men would be willing to spend money on such a woman. Chiao Mian Mian changed into her evening dress, thinking that Mo Yesi had told her to be more casual, so she put on simple light makeup, then simply pulled her hair up into a fluffy and simple retro hairstyle. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1194. Chapter 1194. I like it very much, thank you, husband. Not long after she finished packing herself, Mo Yesi came back. The bedroom door was not closed tightly, and Chiao Mian Mian heard the maid outside calling respectfully, "Hello, master." Then the bedroom door was pushed open. Chiao Mian Mian looked away from the mirror on the dressing table, raised her head, and saw Mo Yesi walking in from outside. The moment their eyes met, she saw surprise in Mo Yesi's eyes. Mo Yesi stopped, stared at her for a while, frowned slightly and walked towards her. Walking in front of her, he lowered his eyes and looked at her carefully again, and narrowed his deep eyes, "Didn't I tell you to be more casual?" Chiao Mian Mian. She is already very casual. She looked at him with an innocent face, "No matter how casual you are, you can't not even put on makeup. This is too disrespectful. And I'm already very casual." Even when it comes to makeup, she wears the simplest light makeup. She didn't even know what else to do to be considered casual. Mo Yesi. He took a closer look just now and found that she was indeed casual. The makeup is not too delicate, just a light layer. Hairstyle is also not carefully designed. But even in such a casual dress, he still felt that she was too beautiful to look away from. "My wife is so beautiful that it's foul." Mo Yesi really wanted to hide her. Looking at her bare neck and earlobes, Mo Yesi took out a box from the bag he was carrying. He handed it to her, "Open it and see if you like it." Chiao Mian Mian was stunned for a moment, looked at his hand, saw the box he was holding, and asked curiously, "What is this?" Mo Yesi did not say, "You will know after you open it and read it." "All right." Chiao Mian Mian reached out and took it. After opening the box, she saw a set of beautiful jewelry inside. It is a pair of earrings and a necklace. The earrings are inlaid with star shapes, and the necklace is a chain with a moon pendant. The jewelry styles are not complicated, they are simple and elegant, and they don't look expensive. But it's the style that Jiao Mian likes. Do you like it? Mo Yesi put his big hand on top of her head, fearing that it would mess up her hair, and touched her head very lightly, and said softly, on the way back, I thought about you attending tonight. I haven't picked out the jewelry for the party yet, so I went to the mall to choose a set for you. I'm in a hurry, and I don't know what you like, so I just picked a set that I think is pretty good. I like it very much, thank you husband. Jiao Mian knew that she had to show her kindness after accepting the gift. She stood up, carefully stood on her tiptoes, came to his lips and kissed him. Mo Yesi looked at the long skirt she was wearing and was afraid that she would fall. As soon as she stood up, he put his arm around her waist. Her thank you gift, he expressed that he liked it very much and was very satisfied with it. I'll put it on you. Jiao Mian sat back in front of the dressing table. Mo Yesi picked up the necklace, lifted a few strands of hair hanging around her neck, and put the necklace on her. Jiao Mian put on the earrings herself. She looked at herself in the mirror and couldn't put it down for the twinkling star earrings. She stretched out her hand and touched it again and again. Isn't this set of jewelry expensive? How much did you buy it for? It's not expensive, a set adds up to less than 100,000 yuan. Mo Yesi put the necklace on her, looked at the girl who was so beautiful that she didn't have any smugness in the mirror, and once again wanted to hide her from anyone. Idea. She is so good, so beautiful. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1195. Chapter 1195. I thought I saw a fairy descending to earth. His sense of crisis is really strong. For Jiao Mian, 100,000 yuan for a set of jewelry is considered very expensive. But she knew Mo Yesi's view on consumption. So to him, this set of jewelry is really cheap. After knowing that the price was not outrageously expensive, Jiao Mian felt no psychological burden. She will be very stressed if she wears jewelry that is too expensive. Always worried about what to do if I drop it? It's almost time, let's go. Jiao Mian had no intention of going to the banquet with Mo Yesi at first. At that time, the two were still in a relationship that was not public. Now that it has been made public, naturally we will attend together. There is no need to hide it anymore. Asterisk. The birthday party was held at the Bai family's old residence. The invitations were all friends of Mrs. Bai and Master Bai, as well as some of Bai Yisheng's own friends. The old house of the Bai family, like the Mo family, was built in the suburbs. An hour and a half later, Jiao Mian and Mo Yesi arrived at Bai's house. After they got off the bus, they saw that many people had arrived. Yan Xiaoqing had sharp eyes and quickly spotted them. As soon as Jiao Mian and Mo Yesi got out of the car, Yan Xiaoqing waved and ran over with a smile on his face. Second brother, sister-in-law. Yan Xiaoqing greeted him enthusiastically and proactively. The slender and charming peach blossom eyes were just casually glancing at Jiao Mian, but after glancing over, they were immediately straightened. His peach blossom eyes were filled with undisguised amazement, staring straight at Jiao Mian without even blinking. Wow! After watching for a while, Yan Xiaoqing whistled at Jiao Mian in amazement, praising her from the bottom of his heart without hesitation. Sister-in-law, you are so beautiful today. I just thought you looked so beautiful. It's time for the fairy to come down to earth. You are so beautiful that you make other women look vulgar. Aren't you afraid of being jealous of those women? Jiao Mian's appearance is Yan Xiaoqing's type. The sound is also a sound he likes. It can be said that if Jiao Mian had not become his sister-in-law, he would definitely pursue her. but he knows how to exercise restraint. No matter how much he likes it, he can still afford it and let it go after knowing that there is no hope. He still has some affection for Xiao Mian now, but he knows Mo Yesie's character and doesn't dare to pluck the hair from the tiger's butt, so he hides the little bit of feelings that are not deep enough. Xiao Mian was so embarrassed by his straightforward praise. Just as he was about to respond humbly, he suddenly heard Yan Shaoqing cry out in pain, "Ouch!" His thick black brows knitted together, he bent down, covered his calf and knee with one hand and cried out wailing again, "Second brother, what are you doing? Your leg is about to be broken." "Ouch, it hurts." "You deserve to die in pain." Mo Yesie looked at him without sympathy at all, his eyes and voice were cold. "If you look at him for a while longer, the broken legs are minor. I will dig out your eyes." Yan Shaoqing groaned, rubbed his knees, raised his head, and said with resentful eyes, "Second brother, you are too stingy. Sister-in-law didn't say anything. Who wouldn't want to see more of such a beautiful fairy like sister-in-law? Two eyes, this is my normal reaction, okay? Besides, I'm praising my sister-in-law. Second brother, don't you feel very proud? Others want me to praise you, but I don't want to praise you yet." Mo Yesie's eyes were cold. "Do you want to get kicked again?" Happy weekend everyone. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1196. Chapter 1196. Well, I'm yours. Yan Shaoqing immediately protected his chest with a defensive expression and quickly took a step back. "Second brother, you are not normal. What man doesn't like others to praise his wife? His wife will feel bright when she is praised." "Humph, you are an outlier." "Well, I'm an outlier." Mo Yesie smiled. "If you say a few more words, I'll let you report to the Yan family next week. As a descendant of the Yan family, I have relied on my family to live a privileged life for so many years. In life, it's time to make a contribution to the family." Yan Shaoqing said that he was not afraid of heaven or earth. "What I'm most afraid of is what Mo Yesie said. Let him go to work at Yan's and live a boring life of 9 to 5 every day, and he would rather choose death." This trick was undoubtedly very effective. He immediately shut his mouth and was so intimidated that he did not dare to say another word. "Okay, second brother, you are cruel enough." After a while, Yan Shaoqing took a deep breath and hummed with an unconvinced look on his face, "I just came here to say hello to you, and there is a beauty waiting for me." "Well, I'm going to accompany the beauty." "Second brother, you stingy guy, just stay by my sister-in-law's side and don't leave even one step." "Sister-in-law, let me take the first step. I still want to say that you are really beautiful today." After saying the last words while holding the lid of the pot, Yan Shaoqing turned around and ran away quickly. He ran so fast that in the blink of an eye he was already 5 or 6 meters away. Xiao Mian pursed her lips and smiled, looking in the direction where Yan Shaoqing ran away, and sure enough, she saw a beautiful woman wearing a red dress with a hot and figure waiting for him. This woman seems to have a new face again. It seems that every time I see Yan Shaoqing, there is a different woman next to him. It really proves the saying that changing women is like changing clothes. It's quite incredible to think that Mo Yesie and Yan Shaoqing have become good brothers who have known each other for many years, and have not been influenced by him for so many years, and have been a jade for more than 20 years. Looking at Mo Yesie now, she felt that he was just a little white lotus that emerged from the mud but remained unstained. This precious and rare little white lotus was fortunate enough to be picked by her. Mo Yesie has outstanding appearance and even more outstanding temperament. He is the center of attention wherever he goes. Xiao Mian has already felt the glances from the opposite around her. She couldn't help but grasp the arm of the man next to her. Since she had picked this little white lotus and it belonged to her, she would not give anyone else the chance to take it away from him. She will protect him. Moyesi felt her emotional fluctuations and lowered his head to look at her with concern. What's wrong? Are you feeling uncomfortable somewhere? No. Chiao Mian raised her little face, looked at the man's deep and three-dimensional handsome features, and tightened her fingers on his arm, as if swearing ownership. She said seriously, Moyesi, you are mine man. Moyesi was startled for a moment, then a smile filled his eyes. Although he didn't know why she suddenly said this, he still nodded cooperatively, stared at her intently and affectionately and said, well, I'm yours. This answer made Chiao Mian very satisfied. A smile also appeared on her lips. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1197. Chapter 1197. Chiao Mian already has a master. Although she didn't know those women, she could guess from their dress and appearance that they must be rich ladies. And she also noticed. From the moment Moyesi got out of the car to now, the ladies have looked in their direction several times. Her husband is too good and popular with the opposite sex, but sometimes she still feels very insecure. After hearing her words, Moyesi chuckled and looked around, but didn't see anything in his eyes. His gentle and doting eyes finally fell back on her face. A beautiful and outstanding woman? What do you mean? Where are these women? I didn't see any of them except you. Besides you, who else can I have thoughts about? You alone fill my heart, baby, there is no room for others in my heart. Chiao Mian was teased by her husband for the 101st time, which made her heart beat wildly. My heart is as sweet as honey. She thought to herself, no wonder women like to hear sweet words. No wonder that as long as some men can coax women, even if other conditions are not up to standard, there will be women willing to follow them. Because nice words really make people feel happy. ACI, Mian. Bai Yusheng came out to greet the guests, saw Chiao Mian and Moyesi, and walked towards them. Today is his birthday. He seems to be in a good mood, with a smile on his brows and eyes. Brother Bai, happy birthday. Chiao Mian looked at the birthday boy standing in front of her and handed him the box in her hand. Here is the birthday gift I selected for Brother Bai. I hope Brother Bai will like it. Bai Yusheng took it immediately. He glanced down, raised his head, curled his lips and said happily, did Mian choose this gift by himself? Well, I picked it myself. Chiao Mian emphasized, this is my birthday gift to Brother Bai alone. Thank you to Brother Bai for taking care of and supporting me. I will definitely perform your drama well and not embarrass you. After Chiao Mian finished speaking, she handed over another box, pursed her lips and smiled, this gift is a little bit of our common thoughts. I wish Brother Bai will get better and better in the future, and make more and more movies people like your drama, and I wish Brother Bai will become more and more handsome and more people will like you. In short, I hope everything will get better and better for Brother Bai. Bai Yusheng glanced at someone who looked unhappy, the curve of the corners of his lips deepened, and the smile on his face became more joyful. He took the gift, glanced at Chiao Mian up and down, and said with a smile, Brother Bai also hopes that you will get better and better in the future. You look very good today, very beautiful. If it weren't for this guy ACI who has quick eyesight and quick hands, he will fix you. Come down, there are many young talents vying for you at the banquet tonight. So I would like to remind those young and talented friends of yours. Moyesi stretched out his long arms and wrapped his arms around Chiao Mian's soft waist possessively. Chiao Mian already has a master, so tell them not to make plans they shouldn't. Bai Yusheng sneered softly, with you by Mian's side, who else dares to risk his life to have her ideas? Instead of worrying about others having Mian's ideas, you should worry about yourself. Bai Yusheng said, turned his head and glanced in a certain direction, and said with a bit of schadenfreude, "Your old acquaintance will also come tonight. But it seems that I did not invite her here, but my mother invited her." End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1198. Chapter 1198. No one can bully you. Mo Yesie's face instantly turned cold, and he looked at Bai Yusheng sharply. Bai Yusheng spread her hands with an innocent look on her face. "I didn't invite her. I have no friendship with her, and I never thought of inviting her. She has a good relationship with my mother recently, and my mother wants her to come. It's impossible for me to not allow it. If you don't speak, no one will think you are mute. Didn't I remind you in advance to give you a vaccination?" Bai Yusheng still had an innocent expression on his face. He turned his head and looked at Jiao Mian. He reached out and touched her head out of habit, ignoring someone. With a terrifying look that wanted to kill someone, he smiled and said, Mian, remember that you are the rightful owner, so no matter what other women do, you have to show your rightful attitude. There are so many people protecting you tonight. With you, no one can bully you, understand?" Thinking of Shenro, a hint of gloom flashed in Bai Yusheng's eyes. He didn't agree to what Shenro said to him that time. "I'm afraid that woman won't give up." Bai Yusheng was worried that she would cause something bad tonight. Jiao Mian quickly guessed who the old acquaintance Bai Yusheng was talking about. She was not surprised either, because she had already guessed that Shenro would definitely come to such an occasion tonight. Bai Yusheng reminded her like this because he was afraid that she would feel aggrieved because of Shenro's arrival. So he specially explained that Shenro was not invited by him. No matter what he thought, this move made Jiao Mian feel warm in his heart. "Brother Bai, don't worry, I know what to do. With your words, I won't be afraid of anything." Bai Yusheng looked at the girl's obedient appearance, and when he thought of the possibility that Mrs. Bai mentioned, his eyes became softer. If she is really his sister, then this is definitely the best birthday gift he has received since he was a child. It is a birthday gift that he will cherish for the rest of his life. He really likes the girl Jiao Mian, and he really hopes that his sister will be her. Even if he thinks this possibility is not very high. However, even if there is 1% hope, he must find out clearly. Of course, Mo Yesie didn't know how Bai Yusheng viewed Jiao Mian in his heart. They never thought that the Bai family would now place their hope of finding their daughter on Jiao Mian. He only saw that Bai Yusheng treated Jiao Mian differently from other girls. This difference, in his eyes, is a man's liking for a woman. Looking at Bai Yusheng's hand that had not yet moved away from Jiao Mian's head, Mo Yesie felt a layer of cold energy gathering up all over his body and wanted to go up and cut off Bai Yusheng's hand. What made him even more frustrated was that Jiao Mian allowed Bai Yusheng to do this. There was no hint of unwillingness towards his behavior, and from the interaction between the two, it could be seen that this was definitely not the first time that Bai Yusheng had done this. Mo Yesie's face turned a little dark as he thought about it. "By the way, Mian, Mom heard that you are coming today and really wants to see you." Bai Yusheng ignored a certain dark-faced person and continued to say to Jiao Mian, "Shall I take you to meet her now?" Jiao Mian opened her mouth and was about to speak when she heard a woman's voice coming from behind Bai Yusheng, saying softly, "Isn't this the second young master of the Mo family? Hey, who is this beautiful little girl next to you? Is it your girlfriend?" The man with a sullen face and a chill all over his body saw the person coming from behind Bai Yusheng. He immediately calmed down his aura and called out politely, "Aunt Bai." End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1199. Chapter 1199 is your daughter's birthday on the 7th day of July. Then he introduced Jiao Mianmian's identity generously, and Bai guessed it right, this is my girlfriend, her name is Jiao Mianmian. Mian, this is Yusheng's mother, you can call her Aunt Bai with me. Jiao Mian looked at the elegant, gentle, and beautiful woman in front of her and called out obediently, Aunt Bai. Are you Mian? Madame Bai's eyes suddenly lit up, and she immediately looked Jiao Mian up and down carefully, and said with joy in her eyes, I have heard Yu Sheng talk about it a long time ago, saying that there is an actress in his crew who looks like our little girl. It's been 7 hours. While Mrs. Bai was speaking, she had already looked at Jiao Mian carefully again, and the joy in her eyes was revealed without concealment. With this look in his eyes, it was clear that he liked Jiao Mian very much. Yu Sheng is indeed right, you really look like Xiaoqi. Xiaoqi. Jiao Mian had doubts in her eyes and asked puzzledly, Aunt Bai, who are you talking about? My daughter Mrs. Bai said with loving eyes, because she was born in July, her nickname was Xiaoqi. I heard from Yu Sheng, Mian, you were also born in July. Mrs. Bai had seen Jiao Mianmian's photo before, and she felt like it at that time. Now that I see her in person, I feel that Jiao Mianmian's features and eyes are very similar to her daughter's when she was a child. Even when she gave her Xiaoqi away, Xiaoqi was still a little baby who hadn't grown yet. But she just felt like it. It looks like anywhere. Another reason why Mrs. Bai felt more and more that Jiao Mian was her daughter was that she felt particularly fond of Jiao Mian as soon as she saw her. This love is a feeling that she can't explain clearly. She thinks the Shen family's daughter is pretty good, and she likes her too. But that kind of liking was still different from her feelings for Jiao Mian. No matter how good the daughter of another family is, she is still from another family and cannot be compared to her own daughter. Jiao Mian heard Bai Yusheng say that she looked like his sister. The moment she saw Mrs. Bai, Jiao Mian knew that Bai Yusheng had not lied to her. She doesn't look like Mother Jiao, nor does she look like Mrs. Jiao, but she is miraculously similar to the Mrs. Bai in front of her. Possibly for this reason, Jiao Mian had an inexplicable fondness for Mrs. Bai. She smiled and nodded, well, I'm from July. What's your birthday? Our Xiaoqi's birthday is on the 7th day of July. If you were born in the same year and month, you are really destined. Jiao Mian couldn't help but be startled. There was a hint of surprise in her eyes. Aunt Bai, is your daughter's birthday on the 7th day of July? Yes, it was also because of her date of birth that she was given the nickname. At this moment, even Jiao Mian felt that she and Miss Bai were quite destined. They look alike, are the same age, and even have the same date of birth. What a coincidence! She couldn't help but said with some excitement, I am also on the 7th day of July. You too. In fact, Mrs. Bai already knew when Jiao Mian was born, and now she asked in person just to be more sure. She trusts her instincts. She felt particularly fond of Jiao Mian as soon as she saw him. This unexplainable liking may be due to her blood relationship. Then you and our Xiaoqi are so destined. Mrs. Bai couldn't help but step forward and took one of her hands. Looking at the delicate and beautiful face of the girl in front of her, she felt more and more happy as she looked at it. The more I like it. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1200. Chapter 1200. If only you were my daughter. Her little Chi was very beautiful when she was born, white, plump, and tender. Facial features are very grand and three-dimensional. Unlike other children, they are wrinkled since birth, their eyebrows have not even grown yet, and they look like a little old man. At that time, she knew that her Xiaoqi would be very beautiful when she grew up, and she was followed by countless boys. Mrs. Bai feels that her daughter will be like Jiao Mian when she grows up. At first glance, she is a very beautiful, very cute, and very lovable little girl. Before it was determined whether Chiao Mian Mian was her daughter or not, Mrs. Bai privately regarded her as half a daughter. He held her hand and refused to let go. Mian Mian, Aunt Bai likes you very much as soon as she sees you. Do you think this is the so-called affinity? Yes, he will have to be with his friends for a while. If you are bored, just stay with Aunt Bai. Anyway, you don't need to be formal here, it's just like at home. By the way, you guys came here without dinner. Are you hungry or thirsty now? Do you have anything you want to eat? Seeing that you are so skinny, do you usually eat very little and have a weak appetite? If you want to eat something, tell Aunt Bai, and Aunt Bai will have someone prepare it for you right now. You don't have to be polite in front of Aunt Bai anyway, you know. Mrs. Bai was afraid that Chiao Mian Mian was hungry and was too embarrassed to speak, so she took the initiative to bring it up. Her hospitality was a bit too warm. The enthusiasm was so intense that Chiao Mian Mian couldn't resist it, and looked at Bai Yusheng helplessly. She thought that these rich and noble ladies would have some airs. Unexpectedly, Mrs. Bai not only has no airs at all, but is also as kind as her real aunt. Mom, even Bai Yusheng on the side, felt that Mrs. Bai's enthusiasm was a bit too much. Although she could understand her actions and mood, didn't she scare others? He stepped forward funny and pulled Mrs. Bai away. Even if you like Mian Mian, please restrain it. If you do this, she will be scared. After Mrs. Bai was pulled away, she saw Chiao Mian Mian's helpless look, and her excitement calmed down a little. Thinking about it, she seemed to be too enthusiastic just now. Once you don't pay attention, you can't control yourself. She was afraid that Chiao Mian Mian would be really frightened, so she didn't dare to be particularly enthusiastic anymore. She suppressed her inner excitement and said, Mian Mian, don't be afraid. Aunt Bai just thinks that you, the kid, are particularly attracted to me and likes you, so I got a little excited. No, I wasn't scared, Chiao Mian Mian said hurriedly. Aunt Bai likes me and cares about me, so she said those words to me. How could I be scared? Besides, I also like Aunt Bai very much. Ah. Really? As soon as she heard what she said, Mrs. Bai became excited again, her eyes brightened and she said, you also like Aunt Bai? Yet Chiao Mian Mian nodded. She felt that Mrs. Bai was particularly approachable. There is no pretense of a wealthy lady at all. And he showed that he likes her so much. How could she not like such an elder? She knew that Bai Yusheng people were also nice. His mother must be a very good person too. This is the happiest thing Aunt Bai has ever heard today. Mrs. Bai smiled broadly, and accidentally revealed her inner thoughts. Oh, the more I look at you, the more I like this child. If you, it would be nice if she was my daughter. End of this chapter.